Hello, I'm Anuj Chaudhary and welcome to this week's commodity forecast, wherein we analyze what's driving commodities this week and what it means for prices ahead. Gold and crude oil are back in news, so stay tuned till the end for crucial support and resistance figures for both these commodities. Let's start with macroeconomic headlines. For the week ahead, the markets will keenly eye geopolitical developments in the Middle East and the highly uncertain negotiation between the US and Iran as the conflict approaches the 2 month mark since February 28th. Four major central banks are scheduled this week: Bank of Japan, US Federal Reserve, ECB, and the Bank of England. Key US data will be the Q1 GDP, the March PCE inflation, and the April ISM manufacturing survey, while the key data from Europe will be the preliminary April CPI and GDP Q1 for Eurozone. Economic data last week offered a reminder that domestic momentum has not yet broken down. Retail and food services sales rose 1.7% in March, driven largely by a surge in gasoline prices, but importantly, real spending also increased a solid 0.8%. Core retail sales, excluding gasoline, autos, and building materials, posted broad based gains, suggesting that households have not yet pulled back meaningfully on goods consumption. China and India have primarily ensured that net investments in physically backed gold exchange traded funds are positive, though 68% of investors have exited as of April 17th. For the week ending April 17th, global inflows into gold ETFs were at $63.96 billion. Outflows were to the tune of $43.73 billion, leaving net investments at $20.23 billion. The International Copper Study Group, in its latest update, forecast world refined copper balance projections to a surplus of about 96,000 tons for 2026 and 377,000 tons for 2027. They expect refined copper usage to increase about 1.6% in 2026 and 2% in 2027, while refined copper production is forecast to rise by about 0.4% in 2026 and 3% in 2027. And mine production is expected to increase by 1.6% in 2026, with growth of about 2.3% forecast in 2027, which could see muted copper performance in 2026-2027. The short to medium term implications remain constructive for copper prices due to supply chain disruptions. Commodity focus: Gold. Gold traded with a negative bias last week. It opened last week at Rs 1,53,158 and touched a high of 1,53,992 at the beginning of the week. Thereafter, it fell during the week and hit a low of 1,50,750 during the latter half of the week and closed the week 1.24% lower week on week at 1,52,699. It opened this week lower and is hovering near the 40-day moving average. If it breaks the 40-day moving average decisively and closes below the same, we may see fresh selling opportunity. The momentum indicator RSI is falling and reading at 51.97 along with a negative crossover, which may add to the bearish momentum. We expect gold to trade with a negative bias in the medium term. It may find support at 1,47,000 and strong support at 1,44,290. Resistance is seen at 1,55,550 and strong resistance at 1,57,500. A sustained close above the same may lead to a trend reversal. The price indicator is bearish. Commodity focus: Crude oil. Crude oil traded with a positive bias last week. It formed a large candle on the previous Friday, followed by an inside bar in the beginning of last week. Thereafter, it traded in the green, confirming a bullish bias. It opened last week at 8,077 and touched a low of 8,022 in the first half of the week. It hit a high of 9,249 towards the end of the week and closed the week 13.52% higher week on week at 8,817. It breached the 40-day moving average during the week and gave a decisive close above the same. The momentum indicator RSI is rising along with a positive crossover. We expect crude oil to trade with a positive bias in the medium term. It may find initial resistance at 9,550 and strong resistance at 9,850. Support is seen at 8,815 and strong support at the previous week's low of around 8,600. A breach below the same may lead to a trend reversal. The price indicator is bullish. Weekly price action. Gold fell by 2.5% week on week. Silver fell by 6.38% week on week. The gold-silver ratio rose by 4.15%. Base metals underperformed this week, but nickel rose alone by 4.96%. Weekly event calendar. This week, the markets will track FOMC interest rate decision. Along with it, we also have the Bank of Japan, Bank of England, and the ECB monetary policy decision. From the US, we also have the durable goods orders, core PCE price index, GDP, ISM manufacturing PMI, and initial jobless claims. While from China, we have the rating dog China PMI data coming in. These data points will shape interest rate expectations, which directly impact precious metals, natural gas, and other commodities. That's your weekly commodity forecast from Mirae Asset Sherkhan. To help you keep track of more promising market developments, all our research offerings are now available in one portal, the Mirae Asset Sherkhan Research Center. Explore research calls and detailed research reports across equity, mutual funds, F&O, commodities, ETFs, and more. Visit research.sherkhan.com to kickstart your wealth creation journey backed by our research experts. You can also click on the link given in the description to access the same. Thank you for watching.
Investment in securities market is subject to market risk. Read all related documents carefully before investing.